Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the special meeting to order at 6:03. Clerk, please call the roll.
Mayor Menchaca,
Here.
Vice Mayor Liao,
Here.
Councilmember Ding,
Here.
Councilmember Harrington,
Here.
Councilmember Pu.
Here.
Okay, we will start with some announcements from our Chief City Clerk.
Tonight's meeting is live streamed on Cable Channel 3 and our online platforms. Please email all public comments to cityclerk@sgch.org. Comments will be read for up to 3 minutes each. If you wish to be added to the distribution list to receive City Council agendas, please email your request to cityclerk@sgch.org.
Okay, please proceed with public comment.
Pursuant to the provisions of Government Code Section 54957, this is the time provided for members of the public to address the City Council. And Madam Mayor, we have not received any public comment for this meeting.
Okay, thank you. Next item, please.
Consideration of an appointment to the Civil Service Commission. Applicant John Eccleston will be interviewed for consideration of appointment to a 2-year term expiring May 30th, 2022.
Okay, well, John, first of all, I want to begin to thank you for taking the initiative to serve and encourage you to continue with your civic engagement in any capacity. I really appreciate seeing some fresh views, some new faces, and new perspectives on our commission. And just so everyone, full disclosure, we've worked together. We served on the school board, and it was always a pleasure working with you. And we had some good times. And now I know you've retired from the school board, just like I had. And I'm glad you're interested in serving, hopefully, on this commission. So I'm just going to begin the questions, and then each of the council members will have their turn in asking questions also. So I will begin by asking, why would you like to serve on the Civil Services Commission?
I noticed in the newsletter or something that they said there was openings, and then when I mentioned it to my wife, and then I just kind of let it go. And then a couple of weeks ago, I was standing outside waiting to get a parking pass when you were kind of halfway open. And I looked up, and there's, you have all those bulletins posted outside the door. And I noticed that you only had 2 people. So I came home, talked to my wife, and said, well, they need at least 3 people so they can come to a decision. So that's why.
Okay. I'll start with some of the questions from the council members now. Vice Mayor Liao, would you like to kick it off?
Okay. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Hello. Hi, John. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
First question is, you served the St. Gabriel School District for how many years? Can you serve as a school board member?
It was like 5, maybe.
5?
Yeah.
Okay. So during that 5 years period, did you handle any personal conflicts and personality problem, and you step up and say, hey, I can handle this? Do you have any experience during the school board time?
Speaking my own mind, is that what you're asking?
Yes.
I've never had a problem with that.
No, but I kind of noticed there were some issues, during the term that you served. Remember, there was a huge, I would say, the community turnout for the school board meeting, regarding certain issue. Maybe it's one of the PLA agreement or something, but I don't remember. But anyway, for your past experience, do you handle anything like, dealing with the personnel issues, regardless of school board members or school staff that you know, say, hey, I think this is not right. I want to step up and help the school district. So did you have that kind of experience?
Well, sure. I wasn't there when the PLA went through. That was like a springboard for another member that left, and that's how I got appointed. But yeah, we dealt just, I'm sure like you have, on the council, there's a lot of personnel issues that come up. So yeah, we had plenty of those. And yeah, so I don't really know where you want me to go with this, but I certainly never had a problem with either disciplining or accepting as letting things go if it wasn't that important.
So, right, John. So my point is trying to say is, okay, from your previous work experience, can you handle like civil service position? You know, like you can do a fair and just advice to our city employees.
Did you happen to read my resume?
Little bit. I
Okay, well,
in front.
As an iron worker, I ran a lot of jobs. In fact, 8 years after I started the Montebello Mall, we did all the iron. I had 30 guys. 8 years in, I had 30 guys working for me. I worked many $1 million jobs, gotten long meetings. Anyway, I've been on the employer side. And I've also been job steward on a lot of jobs, so I supported the members too. Most of the time I was running jobs, so I don't definitely understand what management's like. And I think I have a very good understanding of work dynamics since I've hired hundreds, if not thousands of people and laid off hundreds, if not thousands of people, because jobs go up and they go down, and you know, that's how the nature of it is. So yeah, that's one of the main reasons I thought that I would be good for this, because of my really vast experience relationships with employees.
Okay, well, that's very impressive. Thank you.
Thank you,
so much.
Vice Mayor. Councilmember Pu.
Thank you, Mayor. Hi, John. How are you?
I'm good. Good to see you. Like,
Yeah,
you can't see me, but it's good to see you.
exactly. Good to sort of be able to see you with your foggy camera. But I don't have any really questions for you. I went through your application, and some of the experience you just mentioned, I think, makes you well qualified for the commission. I'm glad to hear that you're continuing to do well during the pandemic, you and your family, and just want to thank you for your willingness to serve. So that's it for me. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Councilmember Harrington.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, John, I've known you quite a while as well. I did go through your resume. Now, when you say that you've been on both sides on management, are you saying, were you working for a company or did you have your own company?
Oh, no. Well, you know, when I first got out of the Navy, there was no jobs. It was 75, right? One of the recessions. So I definitely had my own business then because no one would hire me. There were no jobs. But no, it was just both sides of the thing. As a job steward, you have to watch out for the men. If they have a problem, you know, you have to help smooth things over between them and management. And so I did a lot of that as job steward. And really, basically, I didn't really like running work. I don't like the responsibility of running work. I never really enjoyed being in charge like that. So whenever I wasn't, I was basically a job steward because they couldn't make a steward the boss. So I kind of went between the two because I really liked the physical work of ironwork, but I was pretty good at management. So I usually got bumped up somehow or another.
Yeah, and the reason I asked that is because, you know, as a civil service commissioner, your job would really be to be neutral and try and remain neutral as you resolve disputes between employees and the city. So there will be obviously a lot of judgment and a lot of it takes some understanding, not a whole lot of labor law itself, because we have attorneys to cover that, but just the the understanding of both sides. So I think I appreciate the fact that you have been on the management side as well as the labor side. So I think that's a good.
Yeah, and I think that's not. I'm sorry if I.
No, go ahead.
I think that's my best. I think that's my main qualification, and it kind of I always like to serve where I can, and I thought that this civil service was right in my wheelhouse. It's what I really kind of do the best. So hopefully I can bring honor to the position.
Excellent. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Dane?
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, thank you, John. You well do the like commissioner. Yeah, I read your resume. It looks like it's pretty good. Okay. My question is, did you have any like very simple scenario when you do your job? How do you communicate with the employee and the employer? If any like a simple example.
I usually did it with just brutal honesty.
Mm-hmm.
Say I had a somebody working for me that wasn't working out. If they were trying, that was pretty good. To me, that was pretty important. But I would just tell them, if you're not going to do this and this and this, I'm going to have to lay you off. So they would know in advance. And really, with my job as a superintendent or whatever, I could fire somebody within an hour if I wanted to. But almost every time, unless it was something really flagrant, drugs or something like that, then I would give them a chance to improve. And if they knew what I want, if you were late like a bunch, then I laid you off. If you missed a bunch of days, I'd lay you off, and I'd let them know in advance. And basically, with the men, they were having problems, I would go to management, and I always got along great with everybody, really. And I'd tell them what was going on, and I would try to defend them if they were in the right. But if they were wrong, I would still work in their behalf, but I wouldn't be as adamant about it, right? And then you could always bring the union in if there was problems and we couldn't work out. But I don't really ever remember calling anybody in for anything like that.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Sure, thank you. And congratulations, by the way.
Okay. Thank you too. Okay.
Oh, great. Well, thank you, John Eccleston. So before we conclude, were there any questions you had of us, or we actually have city manager and our HR director, Edward Macias, on the line too, and you can see them. But
well, I talked with George, and he said that he hasn't had anything to do for the last couple of years. So
yes.
That's good. And that means that you guys are doing a great job. And let's hope that it stays that way. But if it doesn't, I will, I'll work with whoever's on the commission with me. And I think having a bunch of different voices is very important. As you know full well, Denise,
yes.
Having more different outlooks on the problem makes it helps everybody see different sides. And anyway, and I just think that I'd be really good at this. And if you think so and want to put me on there, that's great. And if not, then I have my Mondays off. So that's all.
Well, I know you, John, and you'll rise to the occasion if that, if it comes to that moment where you would have to come together with the group and make some hard decisions. So again, thank you so much for applying. And I'm going to ask Jonathan to turn you off so we can continue on with our deliberation.
All righty, I'll get rid of this phasing feeling and we'll head on out. Thank you, guys. And really, before you leave, I want to thank each and every one of you, because really, I know being on the school board that there's a lot of complaining going on all the time. And anyway, and it takes a lot of heart and a lot of community love for your community to do what you're doing. So I want to thank all of you.
Thank
Whether
you.
you appoint me or not, I do want to thank all of you.
Thank you so much, John.
Thank you.
Appreciate your
Take
time.
care.
Have a good evening.
All right.
Okay, so at this time, we'll have some council deliberation. And we do have to take a vote, and so I am also looking for a motion. Would anybody like to kick it off?
Yeah, I'll move the motion to say yes for John to accept this position.
Okay, a second?
I second.
Okay. All right, is there any further discussion? Any other comments people like to make? Yeah, I see none. So Assistant City Clerk Bonus, please take the vote.
Councilmember Dean,
Aye.
Councilmember Harrington,
Aye.
Councilmember Pu,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Liao,
Aye.
Mayor Menchaca.
Aye.
Motion passes by a vote of 5-0.
Great, well, thank you. And Mark or Edward, somebody will contact Mr. Eccleston to let him know the
Absolutely.
outcome.
Thank you, ma'am.
And at this time, I will adjourn this special meeting, but we will be back in 10 minutes for the regular city council meeting, which is held tonight, August 4th at 6:30. So reminder to my colleagues that this is the same link, so you might want to just turn off the cameras and the mic and come right back. Okay, so I'll see you in 10 minutes.